So, a little while ago, I did my review. I did a video talking about my pitch for a Godzilla movie, and I'd follow up with a Kong movie pitch. Ta-da! Here we are now. We are going to be talking about my Kong movie pitch. And I thought it'd be just kind of fun to do this. Like I said, I had done Godzilla, and I said, at some point I'm gonna come back with a Godzilla one. I'm gonna come back with a Godzilla one and kind of give my just a thought of how I would do this. And here we are now. So let's talk about my version of how I would do a Kong movie. Now, much like Skull Island, this would be a period piece, but it wouldn't be set in the 70s. This would be set in the far back. This would be a very, very, very early movie for Kong. This would be a Kong movie that would be set during the 1700s. This would be where the legends come from. This would be Kong the Legend Begins or Kong Origins or something like that, which was actually apparently that was the original idea for Kong Skull Island before it became part of the MonsterVerse, and they changed it so much because initially it was meant to be a prequel to the original film. That was the idea, was that it was meant to be a prequel to the to the original King Kong movie. But then when Godzilla had done so well, Legendary literally went, fuck it, just put Kong in the universe. Look, we could act they had that moment of, wait, we have Kong and we have Godzilla. We could make a movie. We could make a universe. And we know how that went. But yeah, but that's kind of where the idea is, that this would be more of a set around a group of pirates who have escaped the British Navy and have found their way to Skull Island. They escaped into a storm. They got blown off course because they were they thought they were headed to Hong Kong for a safe port. But then they wound up in They ended up in Skull Island, and they were at first they were well, there's nobody here. But they do hear battle drums and whatnot, and the pirates are well, where there's civilization, there's stuff, and we like stuff. So the pirates disembark onto Skull Island, and this would be a version of Skull Island that would be kind of like a mixture of the 30s era mixed with Skull Island. This would be a mixture of dinosaurs and monsters as well as this version of Kong would be a little bigger, but he wouldn't be giant size. I would say he's more along the size of what we got in King Kong Escapes, where he's in that version of King Kong is, I wouldn't say huge, but he's big. He's not kaiju size, but he's bigger. Actually, the more appropriate size would probably, the way I'd probably have this version of Kong would be something along the 76 movie, of, terms of height. And I definitely give more, this version of Kong a more, kind of the facial features and whatnot, and the features of Skull Island. So this would be more of a fusion of the 76 Kong with Skull Island Kong, and mix those together, and that would be my version of Kong. Anyway, so in this movie, this version of Skull Island would also have its wall is still being constructed. The parts of the wall have been damaged and they're rebuilding it. I would say they have said that the wall has been around since time immemorial, but this version of the wall would have damage to it. They would discover that, yeah, this is an old wall and it's kind of taken some heavy damage from it. From what? They don't know. It's something, there's something that is doing this damage. What is attacking the wall? And when they go over to the other side, these pirates would be, they would attack Skull Island, the Skull Islanders. They would sack the area and then be well, where the fuck's the gold? It's got to be beyond that wall. They got to be protecting that. So now these pirates are now going into Skull Island to deeper into Skull Island to find what they think is a grand treasure. because they force the Skull Islanders. They kind of decipher that there's this great power on the other end of the wall. They don't realize they're talking about Kong, and they think they're talking about like a stone idol or something of value, and that's what the pirates believe. So they go out into the depths of the jungle and go further into the island itself. Now, like I said, this would be very much like a mixture of the 33 film and Skull Island, where you would have dinosaurs, but you'd also have like other creatures. Like, this would be very much like a divergence of evolution, where some of the dinosaurs have like remained as the same, but there are others who have like evolved differently, like insects and other creatures. There would even be like, this is something I've kind of wanted for a little bit from, and that we got this kind of in Skull Island, where some of the animals here would be mammalian. Like, there would be other like mammals. Like, there would be even lesser forms of apes, like prehistoric monkeys or primates, and they would be around Kong. And in fact, Kong would not be the last of his kind. This would actually I would have Kong, but there wouldn't be like a whole race of them. This would be like a race of Kong. Like, this is a small band. This is like the last ones. Like, it's a small family group, and the male is like the father of Kong, and he is protecting his family, from these and his home from these invaders, and the other thing that has been really the one attacking the wall. And that thing is Ga. If you don't know who Ga is, Ga was a character who was like the original god of Skull Island, who Kong defeated and became the god of Skull Island in the original books that were like the extended lore to the 33 film. Because there's actually a lot of extended lore for the original movie. Like, a lot. Like, even it shares the same universe with Tarzan and Doc Savage. There's a lot. But Ga is among those. So this would be the in-canon, like, this would be the movie introduction of Ga. And he would be, like, he's the god of Skull Island. And, Kong and, Kong's father and Ga are at, like, war. And Ga has been, like, murdering the other ones. And in fact, I even have that Ga recently murdered Kong's mother. And Kong's father is on a warpath. And it's a lot more of an aggressive, like, there's no, like, blonde or whatever to help, like, some blonde woman to, like, temper the soul of Kong. This is a bunch of, pirates who have gotten in the way of two gods warring against each other. And they're just caught in the crossfire in literally hell on earth. Like, that's where we are in this story, of just these two monsters, warring it out. And by the, I would have, like, by the end of it, Kong's father and Ga both die in combat, and leaving Kong all by himself. Like, that would be it. Is like, Kong, by the end of it, is orphaned. He's young. He's left alone in Kong's in the lair, and this would be where Kong continues and eventually becomes the new, Lord of Skull Island, now that Ga and his father are gone. So that was pretty much the idea I had. Like, that, I know the Godzilla idea was a little more, like, in-depth, but I had a lot more, like, more story to that one. Here, it's just like, hey, let's have pirates on Skull Island and encounter dinosaurs. Oh, and also, let's have, finally, Ga in the canon in some capacity. Wouldn't that be fun? So, I know this isn't, like, as in-depth as the Godzilla movie pitch, but I was like, you know what? I love Kong, and I love Kong as much as I do Godzilla, so I felt like if anyone was getting another movie pitch, it would be Kong. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this movie pitch? Do you guys like it, hate it? And what would your idea for a Kong movie be? The fun thing about Kong is that there's no real, like, set continuity outside of the MonsterVerse and kind of the 33 film, and, well, the 70s movie had that god-awful sequel, but point being is that there's no real, like, set continuity, and, like, there's a lot of fun ways you could play with it. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about this one. So so just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.